Hello everyone, welcome to Women TV. Women TV strongly believes that when any she wins, every she wins. And thus, we are here to celebrate very special victory and success of Vandana Saxena Poria. Welcome on our show again.
Thank you.
So Vandana was been recently selected and felicitated as one of the 100 influential leaders between UK and India. She was honoured for the same at the Houses of Parliament in UK this month. Wow, Vandana.
Thank you.
We always love your achievements and success stories. So what's about this achievement really?
So, as you know, I've been working in the UK-India corridor ever since I came to India. I set up a business here back in 2005 at a time when most people hadn't really discovered India apart from the techies.
Yes.
And I got very heavily involved with, growing my business, getting lots of clients, but also working in the UK-India space. And it's really been a celebration of that.
True that. I would love to know, when you mention you working in between the spaces, what really are the efforts or the work you have contributed?
Gosh, so when I moved to India, there was no forum for British businesses which were opening in Pune.
Okay.
There was in Delhi and there was in Bombay, but there wasn't anything in Pune. So I wrote to the British High Commission and I said, look, I really think we need some kind of forum so that British companies can talk to people who they can trust and rely on about how to open business successfully in Pune. So through that, I helped with, along with a couple of amazing people, Ram Gopal Rao, Nitin Bangam, I set up the British Business Group, which became quite a thriving organisation. And in the UK, whereas people back in 2004 were saying, where's Pune? By 2006, they were going, oh, you're from Pune. So it really put Pune on the map.
Yes.
So that's one space that I've worked in. I've worked very heavily in, obviously, training and development. So developing people, developing talent in India, especially in the BFSI sector, the banking, financial services and insurance. I've worked heavily with entrepreneurs, so really mentoring them, helping them not make the same mistakes that I made, because I made hundreds of mistakes, but that's actually how you become better.
Absolutely.
And I've worked a lot with women and women empowerment.
Right. That's where my interest area really is, and my next question is about. So you are beautifully working in so many segments.
Yeah.
But I also know personally that you have been contributing very fabulously towards women empowerment, especially women entrepreneurs. Can we have a little light on it?
Yeah. So if you look at the size of India, 48% of our population is female. But if you look at the number of entrepreneurs, less than 1 in 40 is female.
Yeah.
And if you look at all the unicorns and the soonicorns, they're not run by women. We have some amazing people. We've got Upsana Taku, who runs Mobile Quick. I was on a panel with her at the weekend. But we don't have enough of them. We have Ashwini Deshpande from Elephant Design. So we have some iconic ones, Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw. But if you then go down, there's a dearth of women. And so I went out and I talked to women about their businesses. And they have real challenges because they say, look, I really want to run a business and I want to run a business successfully. But my challenge is that I also have to look after my family. I have to look after my in-laws and my parents, my husband. His job comes first. So how can I do it? And so what I do is work with them to try and figure out how can they do it better. So how can they create a support system around them? How can they make sure that they've got a contingency plan B and C in case the child falls sick or in case something happens at home, so they don't have to stop the business? How do they stop feeling guilty about looking after everyone, right? So I kind of work on those spaces and help them really find the courage within to also say to their husbands, my job is important too. This is something that's important to me. I want to grow it. I want to scale it the way you're scaling yours. I know I've got family responsibilities, but how about we go 50-50?
Exactly. Yes.
and get support, right? And that's, if you think about it, for India to achieve the targets it's got for GDP growth, to be a $5 trillion economy from what it is at the moment, which I think is 2.3,
Yes.
the only way to do it is to get women up there, women scaling.
Right. That brings me to the next question, Vandana, that what exactly and why, what is the reason as per you that the percentage is so low for the women entrepreneurs when we compare with the men entrepreneurs? Is it the fear of sustainability or they don't have the opportunities? They do have the skills and talents.
They definitely have the skills and talents. There's no doubt about that. I'm going to say something. You know, I'm very controversial,
Yes,
so I'm going to say something very controversial. There's a brilliant book by a woman called Deepa Narayan, which is called Chup, and she is a world-renowned economist. And she came to India and she did loads of, and she's from India, right? And she did lots of primary research, secondary research, interviews, in-depth discussions. And she came to one conclusion, which is incredibly controversial. She says Indian culture teaches women not to exist.
There you are.
And what does that mean? She says, since we were kids, we're told, look down, don't look up, don't wear that, behave like this, don't smile too much, da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da. So we're taught all of these things from childhood, right? If anything happens to any of us, it must be your fault. You asked for it. This is what we get told. So as a result, we're continually in guilt, or we're continually in, I'm not capable, I can't do it, because I've never been allowed to. So they come to the point where they're suddenly able to open a business, but they've never been given the mental tools to be able to do so.
True. So is entrepreneurship looked at as one more challenge in life? So I better stay away.
Yeah, or let me do something tiny, like make cakes, right?
Right.
And I'm not belittling anyone who does that. I think it's fantastic. But let me do something that's what's known as a lifestyle business. So it fits in with my husband, with my children, with my in-laws, with everyone else. They won't say, okay, if I want to take my cake business and make it across India, how do I do it? They won't even question that. It will be like, how can I get 3 more orders a day? Whereas all the guys I know are going, how can I get 3 million more orders a day?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm not, again, remember, I'm not belittling it. We have to manage the things around us. But what I'd say to the next generation who are coming up is have those conversations with your potential husband and potential in-laws in advance. Say, I want to work, I want to build a business, how will you support me? And that could maybe kickstart
And then works.
a revolution. Yeah.
Right.
Also, the other thing I'd say, though, Shweta, is, like I said, lifestyle businesses are fantastic. What India needs more than anything, and Modi's said that, and he's proved it in the budget that's just gone, he really wants to encourage not just entrepreneurship, but job creation. Mm-hmm. If every woman who's here in India could create 4 or 5 jobs for other people, that would make a huge difference to the economy. So it's not necessarily about scaling and making millions, but it's also about giving employment, indirect and direct employment.
Through your entrepreneurship.
Through your entrepreneurship.
Lovely. Coming back to your recent achievement, Vandana, what's your long-term vision really? We're very excited to know.
Oh gosh. So first of all, I have to say, I really did not expect this. I mean, when I got the email...
That's the beauty, isn't it?
When I got the email from India Inc., I was just like, have they got the wrong person? And then I read it again, and it was fabulous to be recognised. I think that was the amazing thing. And then when the British Business Group also did this felicitation, so many people came to it, and I think I was just really overcome with how much support I had. And the one thing, as you know, everyone says to me, and Alec Badamsi used to say it to me when he was alive, he used to say, you're like an alarm clock, you wake people up, and that's what I am, the human alarm clock. So, the future for me is, how do I really disrupt thought? How do I get people to think bigger than they actually are? And the other thing that I feel very strongly about is, are we measuring success in the right way? Mm-hmm. Should the newspapers only be focusing on the billion-dollar businesses? Is that really what success is? So for me, it's not. I think an economy and a person is vibrant when they're doing many different things. When they're, so if we take an economy, when everyone's engaged in the economy, when people care about. So the other part of what I want to look at in the future and what I'm doing at the moment is really looking at how we measure value. What is value for us? And it's not just about money anymore.
True. I think that's a very beautiful aspect you have highlighted today. And what's your vision when it comes to this, and how is your contribution going to be towards this?
So two things. I think the first thing is my book. I've got a very crazy book coming out.
Yes.
Can I mention
Yes,
a little bit about it? It's called, the series is called The Ojos Chronicles. There's 5 books in the series, and the first book is called Encoded. And it's about the protagonist, Ojos, who's a teenager, female teenager, and she's had a very difficult upbringing because her parents are university professors, so she kept moving from place to place because they did semesters teaching in other places. And she's very, very unhappy with life. And one day she hears this really strange noise, and she's really frightened, and she sees this spinning ball just beside her, and it's like in the middle, it's like against gravity, and she knows immediately it's not from this earth. And she's like, what is this? And she rushes home and she says to her parents, there's this ball following me, I have no idea what it is. And they say to her, oh, it's time to tell you the truth. We are not actually from Earth, we are from other planets, and we've been sent to Earth to try and discover why humanity is intent on killing itself and killing the planet.
Wow.
And this ball means you've potentially got into the most prestigious institute in the universe. And she's like really taken aback. But there's one planet that I want to tell you about because it really relates to everything you do as well. She finds out that her mother is from a planet where any baby that's born on Earth in the womb, that dies on Earth in the womb or within 11 minutes of being born, its soul goes to another planet and is born there. But because we're killing so many female babies, that planet is 80% female and always has been. And if you think that 80% of our history on Earth has been written by men and about men, 80% of religion, science, advancement has been made by men, it's not a good or bad statement, it's a fact.
It's fact.
If you imagine that there's a planet which is 80% female, what would it look like? And that's one of the planets in the book.
Can't wait.
So that's a little bit about what I'm working on at the moment. So the book hopefully will be out very soon.
Very beautiful. Right.
And then we'll come back and talk about that.
Yes, we will. And Vandana, now that you're a member and such an active member of Taekwondo Pune, we would love to know, is there anything in it for women especially?
Absolutely. I think if you're an entrepreneur and you're looking at ways to grow your business, you're not sure what to do, what the next steps should be, then join TAI. TAI is the Indus Entrepreneurs. You can find us on the web, taipune.org, I think we are. But you can look it up. And TAI is a platform where there are charter members who have already built businesses, really successful businesses. Ravi Nigam sold his business for hundreds of millions of dollars to Mars Confectionery. Kiran Deshpande, who's our current chair, he's Mojo Wireless. He sold to Arista in the States for over 100 million as well. These people give time, and people like myself and many more, Ganesh Natarajan, I mean many names that you would have heard of, they all give time free of charge to help entrepreneurs succeed. So what we do is we run sessions where we do My Story sessions. We get somebody in the hot seat. So Indigo Paints, for example, Hemant Jalan, he's from Pune. He told us his story of how he set up Indigo Paints and the difficulties he went through before he did. And the great thing about that, Shweta, is that people who are listening in the audience go, oh my God, it's not only me. They go through difficulties as well, which is brilliant, because in the papers they only talk about the success stories, they don't talk about the difficulties. We talk about the difficulties. And on top of that, we also have a scheme called Nurture, which is open at the moment, Nurture 8.0, where we're actually looking for applications from entrepreneurs. So that's people like you who are growing your businesses, who want support. And we have a 6-month-long program, which is entirely free, where you can come in, you're allocated 2 mentors, there are guru sessions, you're taught about funding, you're taught about designing your business, you're taught about strategy, online tools, and by the end of it, you're ready potentially to get investment.
Wow.
So if you want to apply, please do go to the Taipuna website and look for Nurture and apply, because we'd love to hear from you.
Thank you for that. Coming towards the end, Vandana, what's the inspirational message for all the women watching you and loving your
Oh
success?
gosh. In spite of whatever you've been through, in spite of whatever difficulties you're going through, you can succeed. And look for the network. Because Shraddha and I talk about this, we just said it before, we've got each other's back, right? And be in that community, find your tribe that has your back. That's the most important thing.
So that was inspirational. Vandana, Saxena, Poria. Stay tuned for more powerful stories. Thank you from Woman TV.